drop. If you've been watching the U.S. Open like we have, then you would have noticed that several players have dropped out, retired due to injury issues. And also in the last Grand Slam, which was Wimbledon, also several players dropped out due to injury. So why is this happening? Why are so many athletes getting injured constantly? Do you think this is a normal thing to be happening? We don't think it's normal. We don't think it's normal for athletes to be getting injured at this rate, at this frequency, especially in a sport like tennis or in a non-contact sport. There's no collisions happening in tennis. It's just running and hitting a ball. So yes, it's physically demanding. The average inactive person couldn't go and play tennis every day, especially not at that intensity, but everything's relative. So for example, these guys are extremely active every day. They're running, sprinting, jumping every day, every single day, without rest days, and they're doing it a lot. And they don't have any. They're never retiring due to injuries. They're never looking like they can't go because their body isn't able to withstand the demands of it. They're always springing up and ready to go at a moment's notice, any time of the day. And there's a few things that are different between modern athletes, human athletes, and these guys. First of all, look at their feet. If we were to force them into some kind of shoe every day to run and to play, that was deforming their paws, that was changing their ability to sense the ground with their paws, and that was also physically changing the form of their paws and how their paws function to run and to move constantly, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, then I'm pretty sure they would start to develop some injuries or pain. Also, look at how this one's sitting. There's no chair. There's no change in her natural spine or structure that you see when humans sit in furniture constantly. Even though they're athletes and they're much more active than the average individual, they still sit constantly. And when they sit, they're sitting on chairs. They even sit, if you actually look how much time the players sit during an actual match, it's a lot. During changeovers and everything, if you tally that up, and it's always in a terrible posture on chairs. So that is another unnatural input. So there's the shoes, there's the chairs that's changing their structure. And those two things are making them structurally weaker than they should be. Those two things alone. We haven't even gotten to the training yet. Next is the training. So these guys, their training, it consists of basically running and jumping, wrestling, rolling on the ground, sprinting in bursts. They're especially, they're both great jumpers. Our female dog, this one, she can jump long distances. Our male dog, the bigger one over here, he can jump extremely high. And he's never doing weighted squats, leg extensions, weird lunges where they're holding a dumbbell and doing awkward patterns. There's none of that. But if you look at all of the tennis players, I've looked up, I look them up whenever I see that, another player's injured, I look up what are they doing in training. Okay, and obviously I'm not there to see what they're doing constantly, but you can get a good indication of how they're training if you know what to look for in their body. And also if you just look up their training on YouTube or Google it, you can see examples of them training, and they're all doing basically similar stuff. Extremely unnatural muscle-based exercises that no animal does, and that is also deforming their structure and making them structurally weak because it's unnatural. It's unnatural for the body. So then you go and you play a sport at a high level, competitive level, day after day, and then you're putting huge demands on your body, natural demands, mind you, because it's just running and swinging something that's light. So they're natural demands. Your body shouldn't break down from that, but it's breaking down because the body's structurally weak. So even no matter how much strength training they do in the gym and they think they're getting stronger, they're not structurally strong because they don't have the natural structural alignment anymore intact, and they don't have the structural integrity of all the tissue that weaves through the body is not healthy. It's just everything is done in a segmented way, training muscles and doing weird exercise patterns, weird movements that are unnatural for the body. And then when they go to do something natural, like play tennis, they're going to do, throwing motions, swinging motions, sprinting, changing direction, which is all natural stuff. But when they go to do that, they've already been deformed from the chairs, the shoes, and the training. And so the body structurally is too weak to withstand what should be natural, okay? It's natural to get tired, you need recovery and stuff like that, but these injuries are not natural from doing something like playing tennis. And it doesn't matter what level, because it's all relative. These guys have been playing tennis all their life from a young age. Their body can handle that intensity of tennis repetitively, but what it can't handle is doing that with a structure that is compromised. And the reason the structure is compromised is because of the lifestyle factors, namely the footwear, the terrible footwear, also the ankle taping and ankle braces. If you look at the players, almost all of them are taping their ankles or wearing ankle braces, which your ankle's supposed to be able to support itself. If I put ankle braces on them every day we played, then I guarantee you after a while, their ankles will become weaker. Their legs will become weaker because it's no longer supporting itself and it's relying on external support. It's like walking with a crutch every time you walk for 10 years and then removing the crutch. It's going to be harder to support yourself because you're used to relying on the crutch. So this is what you have to look at. We're using tennis as an example, but it's a universal issue with all athletes across all sports because everyone is living a modern lifestyle. Everybody's wearing poorly designed shoes because all the conventional footwear is pretty much terrible in terms of how it alters your foot, how your foot interacts with the ground. It's too cushioned. There's many issues with it, but that's beyond the scope of. We're not going into detail about footwear here, but the point is it's bad. The amount of sitting today compared to, say, 20 years ago or 30 years ago is more, even though 20 or 30 years ago it was still excessive. But it's not like, back in the day, let's say Agassi and Sampras were also probably sitting excessively, but today it's even more because, let's say, for example, recovery after the match, what are the players doing? They do their recovery, and then I know for a fact there's a lot of athletes who, to relax, they go and play video games. They sit on a couch and play video games. So you think your body can recover properly like that? There's no chance. You're geometrically completely misaligned sitting on a couch playing video games. So it would be better if they want to play video games to sit on the floor properly and play video games, at least. But all of the unnatural stuff, it's not anything that's necessarily missing that they need to be doing, like, some special training that is going to fix the issue. It's more what needs to be eliminated. If they just eliminated a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, so, sat on the floor more and eliminated chairs as much as possible, I'm talking about a significant reduction in using furniture. Change their footwear, switch to more minimalist footwear and stop taping their ankles and using ankle braces, and do the right type of movements in their training that's going to strengthen their foot and their ankle so that they can so they have a stable enough self-supported structure. And then also on top of that, the rest of the training they could pretty much just eliminate. And just play tennis, which I'm sure they would love because they don't have to waste time in the gym doing gym stuff, which is all pretty much, I don't want to say completely useless, but almost completely useless depending on the situation. So I would say that right there would solve a lot of these injury problems. And then if they want to do anything in training, like off-court training, it should just be strengthening their feet, restoring their structure, decompressing their joints and their spine from all the compression and deformation that all this unnatural lifestyle stuff is causing. They need to have not stretching isolated muscle groups. That's another unnatural thing that you never see these dogs doing. If they stretch, if you have a dog or a cat, look at how they stretch. It's more of a holistic decompression of the structure when they do. Think of like a down dog stretch or a cat stretch. There's no stretching isolated muscle groups because that again segments the body and then deforms it, and that's continuing to contribute to the problem of making you structurally weak. So basically needs to get back as close to nature as possible in the context of our modern lifestyle, in the context of modern sport, to solve this injury nonsense that is getting worse and worse at all levels of competition and all ages. Because we're seeing even super young athletes now that we work with that are completely structurally a mess from the age of even as early as like 12. So this is a problem, okay? Learn from animals, learn from nature, because that's where we all come from, and need to understand that the more we introduce into our life that is unnatural, the more unnecessary problems we're causing for ourselves. That's my message. If you want to learn more about this, whether you're an athlete, a coach, or a parent, and you want to learn more about this and our natural approach to training for athleticism and for longevity, then click the link below and sign up for the webinar that we're going to be doing to help educate people more about this and reduce this injury epidemic so that athletes can enjoy healthy, longer careers with less frustration due to unnecessary injury. Thanks for watching. Go. Shoot. You might have to do an edit, Lou. Go. Here, get this one. Go.